Okay, let's get this started here. What I've got here is a knife, and it's in a knife sheath. Now this fellow that wants a knife sheath, he's left-handed, and you know, I've made a few knife sheaths for him before, and he likes my work. We would like me to make a another knife sheath for him. Oops. He collects big knives. This is the big knife he's got this time. But what he wants is basically the same kind of sheath, the same style, but he wants a retention strap to, well, first of all, he wants a solid belt loop on the back of it instead of this. I'm not too hip on that. I don't like the idea of just having that one little rivet there. I mean, it's cool that it pivots, you know, so when you sit down, but he wants it all one piece. Also, he wants a retention strap to come around here, something like this. And just provide a little extra friction. Provide a little extra friction against that handle to help prevent it from pulling out. He wants it to be the same color. I don't know if this really shows up, but it's like a dark burgundy. And one thing I noticed is it's not very close to the knife. Like the knife at its widest point, there's a lot of room there. And I like mine to be more of a precise fit. It holds it in fine, but you know, there's still a lot of wiggle in there. What I'm doing is I'm designing a knife sheath. This is what I've got so far. It's of course going to be welted, and I'm working on how it's going to end at the bottom. I want it to curve up a little, but not too much. So I'm working on that now. I've got my dividers set. There's my ruler. There it is. And let's see now. A little over a quarter of an inch, maybe about a 1/16 more than a quarter of an inch. Say, what's that make it? 5/16. Might make it a little bit wider, and that's to give me my spacing for my welt here. And I'm going to continue that all around the bottom of it there. Basically, when I'm designing something, I'll draw it on a piece of paper, set it aside for a while. Sometimes I'll put it up under here so I can't even see it. Then I'll come back to it and take a look at it and change it then. Because I do a lot of drawing and a lot of erasing. But basically, when I'm making a knife sheath or much of anything that's going to be a fold over, I fold the paper over. I've seen people, they'll start with a flat sheet, then they'll take the knife and they'll make a line down the middle, and they'll go on this side and they'll tilt it that way and tilt it this way. But no, I start with it folded over. Giving clearance. I know it's going to be 1/8 of an inch because I'm going to use 9 to 10 ounce, which is about 1/8 of an inch. So I take that and then I measure up, and that gives me about 1/8 of an inch clearance here, and then the welt gives me blade clearance. So I know that that's going to fit approximate right there. I won't really know until I have it leather and fold it over, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to fit right. I'm going to keep working on this, and we'll come back and see what I end up with. Just want to add a few things. When I'm designing stuff, I find this thing invaluable. It's basically like a flexi straight edge between this and this. My mechanical pencil with an eraser, compass, and a circle gauge. Those come in very handy when you're designing stuff. Like with this, I can just take and eyeball the curve hold it in place, and then take my pencil and draw that curve. And it comes out nice and smooth and even. Well, like I said, I'm going to work on this a little more. It's actually a pretty simple design, so it's not going to take all that much. The belt loop is going to be integrated into it, and then the slot's going to be cut in the belt loop for the strap. This isn't the strap. That's not what I'm going to use. This was for another project, and then I redesigned it. So I might use that someday, but not right now. I do have my die ready, and get back to work on this. Okay, here's what I ended up with. It's a basic knife sheath, but what I've done is I've given the belt strap just a little bit of contour, just so it's not like a straight strap. Give it a little bit of shape there. And on the inside, I contoured it in and continued it, clipped the corners, and that's where I'm going to stitch it in at. Also, that makes sure that this side, this part here, right there, isn't going to interfere with my stitch line, because that's spaced in almost 1/4 inch. So that'll clear my stitch line when I go to stitch the sheath on the front, because the belt loop obviously is going to be stitched first. This is going to fit in just about like that, which is a lot like the way it fit in its original sheath. Like I said, it's going to be for a lefty. I got to make sure that I make it a left-hand sheath. Now, I need to design a piece that goes here, because he wants that retention strap to come across, but I don't want the snap to go on the inside of the sheath where it can scratch the blade. So I'm going to make a separate piece that goes on the front of the sheath. But so far, that's what I got. I'm running out of table space. The more stuff I pull out, the smaller my work area is getting. Anyway, this is pretty much it. This is pretty much finished here. Except I don't know where I put one of my pieces. There it is. This is a piece that's going to go in the front, and it's going to have a little brass stud to go with it, because I think that'll go with the mahogany better than than a silver stud. So the stud's going to go on this piece. This piece is going on here, and I've traced where it's going to go. And then this is going to be the hold down strap. I'll grab the knife here. So the knife's going to go in here to approximately that point. Hope y'all can see this. Approximately like that. Then this piece is going to go through a slot in the belt loop, on the inside of the belt loop. It's going to get stitched on. Then that's going to come across like this. And the idea is it's going to provide more friction against the handle, and it's going to pinch this part of the sheath in, which will help to hold the knife in place. But basically, that's how it's going to go. I'm going to cut this to final length after I cut the piece out. But this is going to be a knife sheath right here. And now that that's done, the next step is to get to cutting some leather. But first, I got to make some room on my table.